Come here.
As natural as anyone could get.
You're gonna get kicked out. Go. Heartbreak Kid.
I gotta pull up one other thing real quick.
Heartbreak Kid.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I saw a thing that just from Taylor Swift attending Chiefs games, it's made the NFL an additional $331.5 million. A 2% growth in sales for somebody that's not on a payroll in 4 months. 2% growth in 4 months.
Thank God they made the Super Bowl.
I know she's gonna make up so much money. If she was performing at the Super Bowl too, it'd be over. It'd be over. Okay, let's do this.
I have a scab on my lip now.
Yeah. It's looking better though.
Yeah, I feel better.
Good. Let's do it.
Glad I did it.
All right. Movie. 1, 2, 3, play.
Movie. Speaking of movies, and Nicole Kidman's and such.
Forrest Gump? Still?
Well, that is a movie, Brandon. Good call. Because this movie, we got a movie. We got a main character and everything.
That as they usually do. Not always, but usually.
Usually. What's Ben Stiller's name?
You watch Eddie. Do you watch Saltburn?
I've not watched it. I want to.
Barry Keoghan, man.
Hot.
What an actor.
Yeah. And what a hottie.
Big dong, apparently.
Because I remember Lenny was the name in the original Heartbreak Kid. It's Eddie here.
Not Eddie. Okay. So Eddie, Ben Stiller, he's in San Fran. That's where he lives. Walking the street. Devin would have loved these intro titles because it was just movie immediately. They're walking on the street and talking within 3 seconds.
Most standard issues credits you could ever have. Yeah.
Eddie is talking with his dad about how he isn't a married man.
But interesting.
His real dad. Bachelor
I like that.
His real dad. Yes, of course.
I do like that. I like that.
The Ben Jerry Stiller combo is always good. Usually.
Jerry Stiller looks crazy.
He's so short.
He looks crazy.
Disproportionate as a big man, super short.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's pretty yoked.
He kind of, if he has to, he kind of does that Christian Bale shit where he'll jack himself up. But,
he can.
And he'll jack himself off.
He does.
He almost.
What has he been doing lately, Ben Stiller? Has he been directing? I don't know.
I'm guessing he's into the directing, producing realm because he hasn't really been in anything.
Yes, you keep going. I'll look it up.
Do you remember that movie, The Watch, where it was like the neighborhood watch crew, but then they stumble across an alien? It had like him, and that's all I can think of. Who else was in The Watch? Oh, wait, now I need to look up The Watch. You look up what he's been in. Anything? Ben Stiller,
anything in a while.
Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, Richard Ayoade, Billy Crudup, Will Forte, Aaron Moriarty, Nicholas Braun, Johnny
Pemberton. Producing a movie about the resignation of Spyro Agnew.
No,
that's what he's making right now.
The video game Spyro. What a good game.
No, the vice president, Brandon.
Ask Alex if she likes the video game Spyro.
Ask your grandparents if they like the politician Spyro Agnew.
What party was he?
He was Nixon's vice president, and he was convicted.
They probably did. So yeah, Eddie's talking with his real life dad about how he isn't a married man, but refuses the bachelor life. He doesn't want to crush puss. And he's soon going to his ex-fiance's wedding.
I wouldn't.
Some Good Luck
Couldn't
Chuck
catch me there.
vibes. That's some Good Luck Chuck vibes.
Some Wedding Crashers-ish vibes, 2007.
Yeah. Oh, remember when we were doing Eurovision? We said that Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams hadn't done a film together. They were both in Wedding Crashers, but never really shared a scene.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. They were probably never on set together, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they could have been, but they never shared a scene.
That's interesting.
So at this wedding, he's talking to his friend Mac's telling him about how he drinks what his wife drinks just to make her happy.
Rob Corddry, right?
Rob Corddry, and it's the happy life thing.
He's kind of going against type in this movie. Normally, he's like the fucking macho, football, and he's kind of not in this.
He's more of a simp than the jungle men.
The jungle man he normally is.
From Cannibal Women and the Avocado. Those jungle men that were knitting and making hot chocolate and tuna casserole.
Yeah, those guys are cool.
And he's saying that he missed out on Jody, and that he's 40 now. He should just close his eyes and jump into something before it's too late. But Eddie's too picky, you know?
He's not just like a crush puss type guy.
Yeah, no, we've already established multiple times, as did he and his dad, that he doesn't crush puss.
Yeah, and his friend. Yeah.
Did they use that terminology in the 72 version?
I was gonna say, we have not even got to the part where the movie starts yet. 72, which is amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
But keep going.
So,
I'll tell you when.
Eddie sees all the couples at the wedding, having great times, sitting at their tables together. He ends up at the singles table, which is just full of kids.
It's the kids table, yeah, and the kids are giving him shit for it too.
He gets roasted by these two twin boys.
Girls. This girl next to him too. It was like where's the lady, man?
Yeah, so he makes up a whole story about how his wife is dead and has been murdered with an axe pick, but he doesn't think Brad Pitt's hot.
It'll come into play later.
It will come into play later. I forgot about that, but
none of that has nothing to do with the original.
And still not during the toast, he's getting roasted too, because the fiance is like, I guess I had to go through a lot of frogs to find my prince. And Max up there just like, oh fuck you, Eddie, you idiot.
Yeah.
I actually laughed. I laughed at that part.
Not bad.
And Eddie, walking home, starts to flirt with a woman through the window of a restaurant until her date arrives. So then he's like, oh, whatever. And he looks up and he sees a guy on a bike start mugging a woman. Takes her purse while she's carrying her laundry.
Oh my gosh. He springs to action.
He does. Like the hero Ben Stiller is, but he gets perfumed in the eyes.
Yeah, essentially macing him, I guess.
I mean, that would still hurt.
It'd be fine, probably.
It would still hurt. It's chemicals in your eye.
Fine chemicals. Fancy chemicals.
Fancy chemicals in the eye.
Yeah, so you'd be fine.
And the mugger gets away. He's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, well, it's not your fault. So he helps her pick up her laundry that was thrown onto the ground. He grabs some underwear of hers. They have a nice little conversation before he pays for her trolley ride and figures out that her name is Lila. But
that's the same as the movie.
Okay.
But none of this has happened in the movie in 72.
So in the 72 version, she didn't leave behind one pair of David Bowie
I haven't met her.
panties?
Nope, we don't start there. No.
You don't start with David Bowie panties, okay?
We don't start none of this, yeah.
Crazy that in 1972 you don't start with David Bowie references.
He was probably kicking around.
He was kicking around, but like when did Bowie
Ziggy
first
Stardust?
come onto the scene?
When was Ziggy Stardust, you mean?
Yeah. David Bowie. When was your first album, David?
72.
1972. Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. A totally normal album.
Maybe that's a call.
Totally
to David Bowie.
Yeah, maybe. I think probably.
And he ends up with the pair of underwear. Mac and Jerry, his dad, Jerry just kept the same name too. That's great. Are telling him that he should have asked her out or chased her down or something. But he didn't. He's a little wuss. He doesn't crush puss.
None of these characters exist. There's no brother or father or any of these characters in the 72 version. I'll point out.
Just a couple.
Yep.
And another woman.
Yep.
So, sometime later, I don't know the time span, Eddie's working at a sporting goods emporium that he owns. Like
a pills and balls type.
Yeah. And we got balls.
And vitamins.
But mostly balls.
And vitamins.
And Lila shows up.
Yeah, tracks him down, it seems. Not the other way around.
She's looking for a fleece.
No. I don't.
She's looking for a fleece, you know. She's got
so long ago.
She might go on like a trip or something. But no, it actually is all an excuse to come visit him at his emporium. But it gets real awkward as Jerry's there and makes a public scene about her panties, so he returns the panties, all that stuff.
Ginjo.
Also, a lot of Patagonia mentioned in this film as their product placement. Patagonia.
It's an interesting. None of that in 72. It feels cheap a little bit. The whole movie sort of reeks of cheapness almost. Like that's an expensive brand, but you know.
Like Aeropostale.
Yeah.
I had a friend in elementary school. Like right when Aeropostale came to the malls in Montana. And he got like a sweatshirt. I had no clue what it was. And I was like, Elaine, what does this say on your shirt? He says, oh, it's at E. Ropsdale. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, that's what I changed my name to legally.
At E. Ropsdale. That's great.
At E. Ropsdale. Lane, what a guy. Too bad Seth's not here. He loves Lane apps.
Is he still with us?
He's still with us.
On this planet?
Yeah.
Wow, big surprise.
But after he suggests that, he asks her on a date. And on the date, she tells him that she made up the fleece story to come and see him. And he's real enamored by it. So, yes, stalker lady. Lies. So cue a makeout montage. Yeah,
gross. A lot of tongue.
And it's always in public.
Yeah, there's a good bit where she falls off the bike.
She fucking ate it out. As they're trying to make out while biking. Yeah, she did good.
I like that.
And now they're talking about having sex for the first time, and she's telling him that she kind of wants to hold off on sex because she's seen how it's ruined her relationships in the past. And honestly, he seems totally fine with it.
A 40-year-old guy. Why not? He's like, that's cool with me.
Yeah, he's not
wait for as long as you want.
He's not some 22-year-old dude trying to crush puss.
No, he's almost an empathetic figure at this point.
Yeah, the good guy.
Good guy.
And Lila breaks the news to Eddie after they make out some more. That she has this big old environmental research job, but it's making her move to Rotterdam, Holland. And she can't say no. Because the other person, her other researcher, is married, and they don't send married people there. So unless
this little old lady got hitched, she has to move to Germany.
Holland,
yeah, that's what I meant.
But they've only been together for like 6 weeks.
That's too soon, Brandon, I would say.
It's very soon.
But everything's going smoothly.
Yeah. And so now Eddie's kind of forced to consider proposing to her after 6 weeks of dating, or forfeiting basically the perfect girl to Europe. Ooh, I heard a cat.
I grabbed him. So he chooses the girl.
And he's now married to Lila and talking to Mac about how his life is perfect. And they get to take a 3-week honeymoon to Cabo.
This is where the original Heartbreak Kid starts. Starts off right with the marriage.
Right at the marriage. Okay.
They getting married, yeah. Which I think it's told as a better storytelling device in the first one. Because Charles Grodin, who's the stand-in for Ben Stiller's character, is very eagerly trying to get married and hurry it all up and wrap it up. Let's go. Time to get married. Because that's when he can have sex, right? He's like very instinctively like, we got to get married. Let's go. It's time to happen. Come on.
I mean, yes, 70s style. You don't want premarital sex.
Yeah, of course. That's how it has to happen. And then in this one, he's like, there's a Germany thing.
What's
It's
up with that? He
you
turns
don't
into
need all
Jerry
this stuff.
Jerry
The 72,
Seinfeld.
yeah, 72 version is so quick and clean. Like, let's go, quick, married, boom. Here we go, vacation.
Yeah, they're gonna take a big 3-week honeymoon. Mac tells him he has to deliver a package to Uncle Tito for him because it's in exchange to secure them like the honeymoon suite too.
Carlos
Um,
Mencia.
and Lila, he hasn't met her parents yet, so she comes. She's like, "Here's my mom." Red flag right away. Her mom's huge.
Yeah, it's kind of a dated joke.
It is a dated joke,
It's
but
a good luck Chuck joke for
it's a good
sure.
luck.
Right? It's the same deal.
Kind of a the Birdemic linebacker mom joke.
Kind of. No, well, that was just like her. She just looked
I
like
know
that.
she was.
This one, it's like way over the top.
But I think part of the red flag might have come from like maybe bad genes or something because they were like, "Oh, you look so great in my wedding dress." He's like, "Oh, do you have it altered?" She's like, "No, this is the one that I wore 20 years ago." And he's like, "Whoa."
Yeah, yeah. That's the implication is that's what Lila's gonna look like pretty soon.
And so, but he's fine with it. They start driving to Cabo, and Lila doesn't want to do anything that Eddie wants to do.
And
Another
she's
big red
annoying him
flag.
along the way.
I mean, some of these things sounded great. Going sport fishing, getting a little
That sounds
Mexican
fun.
burro, and exploring a village.
I would be down for that.
Yeah,
All this sounds great.
but she
And
just wants to
Cabo?
stay on the beach, fuck in the rooms, and sing nonstop in the goddamn car.
Yeah, so
I think this is one of
it,
like the big, like supposed to be one of the big comedy moments of the movie. It's got to be in the trailers where she's just singing every
yeah.
single song, and he's like, "Oh, why
Yeah.
me?"
Yeah. Then this is out of the 72 version too. Because
Oh,
they start
really?
off it's a little bit more subtle in that one because they sing some songs together and then he's like, "Oh, okay, now let's quit it now." And then she keeps going and keeps going and then he's like, "Oh God, oh God." And he's like, "Just shut up."
And yeah, so he finally turns off the music and says they should talk, but she proposes they fuck instead. So he pulls right off the highway. He's so
He's
into
down.
it. They start to have sex, but she is incredibly wild and
Yeah,
kinky.
she's rough. Wants it so hard, she says a lot.
Is there anything about that in the 72 version?
No, no. It's in fact it's like a normal she's even like charming and sweet. It's just like like slightly ditzy about it, and it just like annoys him slightly.
It's
Which is it's she's the whole issue with this with my interpretation of this movie is they make the Lila characters the complete fucking psycho that he has to claw away from. Right? Oh my god, devil lady bitch. And then the 72 version, it's so much better because it's like a sweet girl who's like kind of like quirky, annoying a tiny little bit, but it's really just the asshole guy, which is like the gender flip of this movie, which makes it more
okay.
sexist.
I mean, I'm not going to give Ben Stiller any breaks. He's not the charming guy in this at all, but
I mean, it definitely tries to make him more sympathetic in this one.
sure, because yeah, Lila right away screaming for him to cock her and doing all
Yeah,
these weird
yeah,
sex positions. She wants to be pile drive no matter what.
yeah. Just, just nasty, horrific. Yeah, and he's just like a normal dude.
He's like more of a missionary kind of guy, not into the whole nipple rubbing and the biting and the pain and the positions. But he notices they're at breakfast the next morning. You know, they've kind of gotten past the whole sex the night before. He notices she is so bad at math, like the worst at math, because she looks
Another
at
red flag.
another red flag. She looks at this incredibly old couple. Mind you, he's 40, she's 30. These guys are 85. And she's like, that's going to be us in 10 years. He's like, what?
Yeah,
She's like, sorry, I'm bad at math. She's super chatty in the morning. She needs to hold hands while eating, which I thought was kind of funny because he has to use his off hand, like crossing.
she's being overbearing
Not technically a red flag, but she has a deviated septum.
from too much coke.
Well, you don't know that yet.
Oh, Ginger.
Later it's a red
Fuck,
flag, but
he's being such a shit.
oh, I know. I see him clawing.
Fuck off. Stay there. Okay.
Also, she loves to talk about her pubic hair at the restaurant table.
Gross. And another red flag and a future warning for later part of the movie.
Correct. So after breakfast, they end up making it to Cabo. And they realize that things have been a little hectic so far. So they just decide they're going to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
And the mariachi plays for them as they kiss. And Eddie finds Uncle Tito and delivers his present, which is a VHS porno.
Hell yeah.
But gets embarrassed as Tito, smart thinking, hands the VHS back to Eddie, being like, "Oh, here's your tape you ordered." Yeah. When two guests come up to him, Miranda and
don't know,
Martin.
Miranda and Martin also come and play later. See him taking the porno plate. Yeah, he's buying porn. What a weirdo. What a psycho.
It's not that weird.
Yeah.
And they get the honeymoon suite with the hookup from Uncle Tito, and they are blown away. But as they're looking at it, Eddie's like, I wonder how much this thing would cost if I didn't get the hookup. But he's like, I'm not worried because of our dual income now.
Yeah, two great jobs. Uh-oh.
Environmental researcher, small business owner, you're gonna be great.
No kids. It's a volunteer position. She's not a real job.
She's done this. She's never once gotten paid for work.
Yeah. It's all perspective. And she's
something you should know before.
And then she also has had looks like she's had some money, so
yeah, I mean, and it's fine if somebody else doesn't make money. It's just nice to know that before you live your lives together.
Accrue debt or anything.
Hey. Yeah. And she says that her previous boyfriend was all concerned about her money too. He was always nagging her about getting a job, so that's why he mugged her.
Yeah, that one guy. Ooh, not a crackhead.
Yeah. Not a crack, just her ex-boyfriend. He wanted his money back because she took it from him.
Yeah.
He thought he was a hero. Little did he know he was helping the villain. Exactly. And anyway, it's their first big fight, arguing about money and dictionaries and fucking and all that. And they get in a fight. She storms off. And he searches all day for Lila in the resort and can't find her anywhere. And as he searches into the night, he comes across Miranda, the lady from the front desk from earlier, played by Michelle Monaghan, who loses her camera over the edge. They introduce themselves. She tells them that she's here on a family reunion for her grandma and grandpa who renew their vows every year. That's a lot of vow renewals. Shit.
That's
overkill.
Yeah, and it's the big one. They're all from Mississippi. The whole family's flown out here to Cabo. But they go to Cabo every year? Is that the implication? Or they just renew their vows every year?
I think they go to Cabo to renew their vows.
They do, yeah, because that's why they're there at the Okay.
But she's saying all these things as he's getting ready to tell her why he's here. Her family calls her back up, so he doesn't get to tell her that he's here.
But they had a moment
on his honeymoon. But they had a moment.
Now it's back to Lila.
And she's in the hotel room. You know, they make up for their fight. She realizes that she should be making money. You know, it's finally time she asks for any sort of
salary,
technical raise. Yeah, I was gonna say raise, and I was like, that's not right because
compensation.
Yeah, there you go. Because she does need to pay off her debts too. And he's like, oh, debts. She's like, it's only $26,000. I owe the coke heads some money. What?
Yeah, not even a bank. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like student loans or like a car. No, it's coke dealers. And that's how she got her deviated septum. She wasn't born with a poor anatomy thing with her nose.
She blew it out doing coke. Oof. As we all have had. Just joking.
And he's still trying to make amends. And she's like, oh, Edmund, you. That's not his name. She doesn't know his name.
Well, is she saying amends? Edmund?
No, Edmund.
Yeah, but is she just making that mistake? He's just so ditzy, she doesn't even know that. I
don't know. It just makes it seem like she doesn't actually know who he is. Because it's Edward. It's Eddie.
She's brain damaged.
But whatever. They're going to fuck it out.
hardcore
Another
style.
night of nice, romantic, passionate honeymoon sex, right?
No.
She's riding him. She's calling him a pussy and a little girl and a faggot, and demands to be slapped in the face before she starts to hit him because he won't hit her.
Yeah. Lovely. And this is the core, yeah, like I said, the core issue between the two movies is Lila's meant to be a sympathetic character in the 72 version, and in this it's a demon to flee from.
But was it what was Eddie's name in the 72 version?
Lenny.
Wasn't Lenny a demon to run from and she was okay?
Kind of, yeah.
So why does it make it worse or better that roles are reversed?
Because it's funnier in the other version. I don't know. It's the person being spurned, you have sympathy for, and then the person doing the spurning, they get their comeuppance at the end. It's warranted and just. Yeah. And this
when you have
yeah.
a protagonist that has a reason to run away from someone and go with somebody else, it's like, okay, I do it. That's okay.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Do that thing.
When you have a man that's leaving a decent girl for another decent girl, you're like, why are you doing this, you idiot?
Yeah, you have a moral quandary, and then yeah.
Exactly. So not as much of a moral conundrum in this one.
No, it's simpler. It's simplified.
It's not pulling you both ways.
It's less humorous because of it.
Okay. So, good little scene as she's passed out. He's huddled in a chair, like shaking from his night of sex. Too scary.
It's intense.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Blah.
Malin Ackerman, yeah.
And it's beach day. Their second day here. Lila's not going to wear sunscreen, but instead lather herself with mineral oil.
Yeah, it's good for the skin or something.
Not tanning oil. It's mineral oil.
Yeah, he protests, but she insists she knows what she's doing.
And while she lathers, Eddie's stuck staring at and watching Miranda in the ocean playing with some kids. Also, those twin boys from earlier at the wedding are here in Cabo as well. Yeah. They see him here with Malin Ackerman. They're like, whoa, this guy isn't gay.
No, and his wife, this is his new wife. His old wife is dead.
Yeah. And after a day at the beach, it's nighttime. Lila is miserable. She's burnt completely from head to toe.
This is from the first one too. Yeah. She gets burnt, and then that gives him the excuse to go hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. And Eddie calls his father about his trip and how Lila's crazy, but Jerry's in Vegas with the biggest fake-breasted woman of all time.
Yeah. What was her name? Kayla Cleavage or something?
Doesn't matter. It was terrible.
Boobs the size of a Volkswagen. Yeah.
And they're so big and fake that they float on top of the hot tub.
Yeah, very good luck.
The nipples are pointed in different directions.
The worst humor from the Farrelly brothers.
And yeah, big-breasted women. His dad just telling him to go cock your hot wife right now, or I'll come down there and do it for you. It's like, no.
Thanks, Dad.
Bad humor.
Thanks, Jerry.
So he hangs up on him, and he's downstairs at a restaurant bar while Lila's up alone. He's eating. And Miranda comes up to him at the bar to order some drinks. And a couple down at the other end's like, hey, are you on your honeymoon? And he's about to answer, but Miranda think that they're talking about them. She's like, of course we are.
Yeah. Them too. It's like a little joke of it all. So he doesn't have to technically lie.
Correct. He hasn't confessed to anything about Lila the first time or this time, and she's playing along about, hey, tell me next time that we're gonna be doing this beforehand. And it's like, I like Michelle Monaghan's character. She's fun.
They're playful, yeah. Even though she's a little bit younger, yeah, she's game, she's lively. I do too.
She's got an energy. She's cute.
Well, I don't know why she's going after Ben Stiller. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's fine. Lady Man syndrome.
Yeah, and so Miranda's playing along, pretending to be his wife, and he tells her that he's trying to tell her that he's actually married after they play that as they're walking away, but they get interrupted by her whole family. All from Mississippi. Now he drinks with the family the whole night, sharing stories, their love of sports.
They're pretty charismatic. Yeah, I like the family.
Yeah. A little extra, but I get it.
The charming
Yeah.
is the element, yeah.
And Eddie and Miranda end up having a one-on-one on the beach together as they're sharing a joint, talking about cow aliens and whatnot. And it's like, okay,
Getting high on the beach.
high on the beach.
The perfect night, yeah.
And during this one-on-one, she tells him about her previous relationship and how they just kind of split up, but the time apart has let her realize how different they were from being apart. A really good like monologue that she
Yeah.
gave there. And
And
I was
some
like,
insight for our main character here.
even though his time apart from Lila hasn't been as long as hers and Cal's was, he's
Yeah.
realizing even short time with
Yeah.
her or time apart, I'm
Yeah.
having a better time here.
Yeah. Perspective. I got to get away from her.
So she asks him about his love life. And as he tries to tell her, her cousin Martin comes and interrupts and she has to leave. Time number 3 now that he has tried to tell her that he is married and on his honeymoon and things have been interrupted. So he's trying his best. Lukas is gone. Never to be seen again. He's probably getting a drink. That drunk.
And I was fighting the cat.
I don't know
He
why
was fighting the cat.
I don't know why you don't just close the door and leave him out.
Well, because then he meows and meows and meows while Alex is trying to do homework.
But she's
Sure,
not.
whatever.
She's already got her master's.
Yeah, doing lesson planning. He stinks.
But after many times, it's not going to happen this time. Eddie heads back to his room, and Lila has been awake waiting for him, asking him questions about his night.
He's
and why
in trouble.
He's coming back at 4 a.m. He said he was going to go down for dinner.
He's in trouble.
Of course he's in trouble. He's coming back at 4 a.m. on their honeymoon.
But this is where he turns, right? Instead of fessing up, he could have fessed up, right? Gone neutral. Instead, he gaslights her.
Exactly.
Lies.
He also helps pull a Tylenol out of her nose. No, this is not where he lies, because he's saying, he does lie a little bit, where he's like, the food was a little late, then a family bought a shot, so he was technically telling the truth.
His half lies,
just omitting some key details.
Not his police encounter yet.
Yeah, and he pulls a Tylenol out of her nose. He wipes off the facial cream that she had on to help with her burns, and she got a chemical burn now over the top of it. Everything's starting to pus like a vermilion red, like crazy.
Yeah, all this is in the original.
And so she locks herself in the bathroom, saying that she wants to be alone. Tells him to go explore Mexico by yourself the next day. And so he goes to at least get her some breakfast. Cate Blanchett.
And then he's off to go party with Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah, I mean, he was just going to go back to the room, but she intercepted him. Yeah, said, hey, the whole family's going to this town called Miraflores, where it's the basil capital of the world or something. They're going to do some sightseeing. And he's like, okay, I'll join you. I just got to eat my breakfast real quick. He makes Uncle Tito take the breakfast back to the room to deliver it to Lila. And so he gets to hang out with Miranda the whole day in the city.
And he's happy. Yeah, he's smiling. He's in love. He's falling in love.
They all love him too. They were gonna go into a room for Mexican folk dancing. Did you see what was behind the door in there?
Yeah, I did. It was a donkey, right?
It was a donkey fucking a woman.
Well, that's classic. That's a donkey show, Farrelly Brothers thing. Yeah.
Donkey with a huge hard-on mounting a woman from behind and sticking his dick into her ass.
Only the second most offensive thing of the
movie. And Eddie now calls Mac about his trip. And he talks to her about Lila, and he talks to her about Miranda and how he wants a divorce lawyer. And although Mac tells him that as a man, you're supposed to fake your happiness with a woman until you die.
That's what he did. That's what he's doing.
He's also growing a
He's
singular
repressed
bang. Ugh.
and depressed. Yeah. He's stuck in
Ugh.
his lifeless marriage that he's been faking all along.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I don't have to do this all my life. I want
Yeah.
to
Oh, it's fun.
divorce Lila. This woman is wonderful. And so he goes back to the hotel, and the twin boys from the wedding have been there the whole time. They spot him and
Hmm.
spread the lie to Miranda's family that his previous wife was murdered with an axe pick or an
Hmm.
ice pick.
Ice pick. Yeah.
And so everybody's like, oh my God, that's so crazy. We got to be
We gotta
gentle
get
around
this.
him.
Yeah.
We got to help him out.
Yeah. And they already like him anyways, too. They're gonna keep rolling with
Sure.
it.
And Eddie is invited with Miranda's family to a dinner, maybe. I can't remember where they were going. But
Lounge or
this is
something.
where he lies. Because
This is
Lila
the
told him to
gaslight.
go explore
Hmm.
the city. And so he did. But as he comes back, she's like, you were gone all day, and
Yeah,
now
hang
you're
out with me.
trying to leave again right now.
No, yeah,
And
you have to hang out with me, your wife,
it's
on our
a
honeymoon.
elaborate. This is a good lie.
Hmm.
All about golfing and meeting a Patagonia rep and credit terms and a big dinner to finalize the deal for the merger
He's
of the
spinning a lot of
companies
wheels,
and
exactly.
dropping names and
And
golf scores
bluffing
and
hard, daring
yeah.
her to call his bluff. That in the original, he said he's pulled over by police and had to spend all day in court. So they borrowed this as well. Yeah.
Okay. And so he's like, well, I got to go to dinner with them. Um,
I
you'll
gotta seal
probably
the
want to
deal.
stay here. She's like, oh, I'll come with you. I'm your wife. I'm gonna throw on some makeup over this burn. It's a little
Yeah.
better. He's like, fuck. And he's like, all right, well, I'll tell them to make room for one more on the skipper. And she's like, I can't. I can't go
Yeah.
on a boat. I'm gonna
I'm
be
seasick,
seasick.
of course.
And he's like, all right, you know what?
Doing
I'll
all he
leave you
can to
behind
take
for
his
the
wife.
night. I'll bring
Yeah.
you back some dinner. It'll only be a couple hours.
Wrong.
And as he's leaving, she's like, "Oh, also, I'm sorry about earlier." And he's like,
Hmm.
"What about what earlier?" She's like, "You know how I punched your penis, I swatted your dong." Apparently, Uncle Tito, when he was delivering breakfast, she reached her hand out of the door and it was covered in pus. But he
That's
still
right.
thought, you know what? Let's whip it
That's right.
out and let's have her
Yeah.
jerk me a little bit
We
from
should do
behind
that.
the room.
We should sexually assault. Yeah, our cousin's friend's wife. Why not pull it out and put it in her hand?
Only the third most repulsive thing about
That
this
is the
film.
third most repulsive thing about the
Wait,
film.
what was number 2? The donkey.
The donkey.
The
Number one is yet to
fourth
come.
fourth is the big-breasted, fake-breasted
Yeah,
woman.
Kayla Cleavage. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed her name. Kayla
It is.
Cleavage.
It was that or Kylie Cleavage. Cleavage is her last name
And it was a
with a K,
alliteration for sure.
of course. Yeah.
That's a hooker name if I've ever heard it. I remember once. I think I was watching the London Summer Olympics in like 2012, and I was watching women's indoor volleyball.
Hmm.
And I was like, God, these girls are killing it for the US. And there's this one girl that just kept getting spike after spike after
Hmm.
spike. And they were finally like, oh my God, Destiny keeps killing it. And I was like, oh my,
That's right.
Destiny, that's a hooker's name. And then her last name was Hooker. And I was like,
I remember Destiny
whoa.
Hooker. She was a beast. Penn
She was
State,
a,
big giant
yeah,
black girl. Yeah.
super huge, crazy hop. She was an amazing volleyball player.
He was cool. I remember there was a gymnast for China named Wang Dong.
Ooh. Oh, that's rough. Oh my goodness. And then
Yeah.
speaking of other volleyball legends, can't leave out the 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 ginger himself, Chase Budinger.
Great name. Love Chase
I'm
Budinger.
not necessarily talking about the name here, just the player himself, Chase Budinger,
That's a good name. Budinger.
former NBA star, not star, but former NBA player.
Young contest participant.
Yeah. So after all this Uncle Tito stuff, Eddie seemed more upset about himself not being there for Lila than Tito putting his dong in her hand.
Hmm. Yeah, which
So
is a data joke again.
showing some of his moral compass. But as Eddie is about to tell Miranda about Lila and how he's going to break things off with her, she tells him that she knows all about his wife. And he's like, oh. You
Yeah,
do? And you're fine with this?
A good little miscommunication gag here. Ow! Ow!
Ooh! Ooh!
Fucker!
Oh! Oh! Goodness, Jinjo.
Hey, yo!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He got
Miscommunication gag.
looks like he got your lip.
Yeah, he did. My lower lip.
Because she is talking about his dead ex-wife with the ice pick.
Mm-hmm.
But he's talking about Lila.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's not aware of the wife she's talking about. And because she's so cool with the whole dead wife thing, he believes he is in the clear with Miranda to spend time with her, even though he's here with Lila.
Yeah, she clears him essentially in his mind.
And honestly, not his fault.
I mean, it's a movie miscommunication. Yeah.
Yeah. And Martin, Danny McBride's character, is the only family member that's not fully sold on Eddie yet. He thinks Eddie should be mourning the death of his wife and not canoodling with Miranda this whole time. But he gets back late and is ready to talk to Lila about their relationship. But she sewed him a little pillow.
No, he wants to make it up to him. Yeah.
Number one husband, and so he hesitates and doesn't break things off.
Can't do it right there with the pillow.
With the pillow. And so it's the next day. Eddie and Lila are eating the largest bowl of only guacamole.
Yeah.
Like a giant mortar pestle thing of guacamole. Didn't you get me a mortar and pestle for our wedding? I did
for your wedding. That was one of the things I got you.
That and the Dutch oven, the Dutch baby oven.
The Dutch oven.
I think I've only used that once, unfortunately, but I've used the mortar and pestle several times. Making my fair share of guacamole in that. And some other things that will remain unnamed here that rhyme with mentonol. That rhyme with boxycodone. That rhyme with norphine. That rhyme with smatterall. That rhyme with Channix.
Yeah, you got it.
That rhyme with pallium.
Yeah.
Nobody's knowing what I'm talking about.
No.
Nobody can get those together. But where am I? Oh, they're eating the giant bowl of guacamole. When he tries to break up with her with every euphemism possible, it's me, it's not you, the timing was all wrong, it's because of your work. I would feel bad if I kept you from your job, this and that. And he finally, he's like trying to say he's changed, and how sometimes bad choices are made, and how she should choose Rotterdam because she would be happier there with her work than instead of in San Francisco with himself.
But she's like, no, I'm good with you.
She misconstrues all of this, though, thinking that he is abandoning his job and moving to Rotterdam with her.
To be with her, ultimately, yeah.
And she's calling her mom and celebrating. And Martin and Buzz, cousins of Miranda, come up looking for her, who's missing today. He tries to keep things on the down low right in front of Lila, but they question him sitting with his wife, who isn't dead. And Martin and Eddie get into a full physical fight. He shoves like a pepper up his nose. That's a good move.
Sure. Well, I agree. Instead of just punching him. Yeah.
Fuck him up long term, And Eddie officially goes over to end things with Lila, but the mariachi band from earlier just keeps playing over the top.
Yeah. So he loses
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
Pays him off, and he starts to break things off with Lila when he sees Miranda, and he goes after her. He confesses to Miranda the truth, and as he's walking towards her,
Lila's distraught and seasick and everything. Yeah.
And Miranda falls right over the veranda.
Veranda into the ocean.
Oh, a rocky cliff right into the ocean.
So Eddie jumps in to save her.
Of course. And Lila sees him jump and thinking, I don't know, maybe thinking he's trying to kill himself or something. Goes in after him too. Well, she didn't go in the water, but comes around to the
No.
beach. So
Yeah.
now she's there, the family's there, the mariachi band and the twin boys and Uncle Tito are watching from above at everything that's going on. And they get onto the beach, and Eddie's got a fucking man-o-war jellyfish stuck to his back.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
He could be dead.
He could be dead. He should be dead.
A man-o-war?
But there,
Jesus.
yeah. But there's
The
a solution.
twins thought it was awesome. The fucking
awesome.
man-o-war. There's a solution. An environmental research person would know how to cure jellyfish sting pain. Urine.
However, pain.
However, you do it prophylactically. So you're supposed to pee on yourself before you get in the water in case you get stung. Post-exposure is supposed to not help very much.
Oh, okay. I see. So Lila's there for it.
Make sure you pee on yourself before you go in the water every time.
I always do.
But yeah, Lila's there. And I'm going to show you my notes here real quick. If you could see the one that's in all caps, right in the middle there.
Yeah, it is. It is
the worst scene I might have ever seen from a film. And like I said, I've seen this
is horrific. Yeah.
Twice before or something. Don't remember this at all.
Interesting. No, this is disgusting. Her fucking CGI bush needed to fucking jump out of the screen like a fucking 3D laser or some shit.
Yeah, she's talked about her pubic hair and how he likes it a little more trimmed, but then his dad's talking about how it doesn't matter about a bush, but at least she's got a kitty ring, as he said, all that. Worst fucking thing I've ever seen. So vile and unnecessary and just in poor fucking taste to have Lila go to pee on him and have her bush with the vaginal piercing animatedly bust through her panties in CGI form and shimmer like a 3D fucking movie. Come on now.
How is this? Yeah. How is that the reveal punchline of it?
So she pees on him, and Lila tells all the people that are watching him pee on her that it's okay because she's his wife and they're on their honeymoon. And Miranda has officially had enough and leaves, rightfully so.
Yeah, of course.
And she's gone. Lila's gone. Eddie's all alone in Cabo. He's like 2 weeks later, he's drunk on the beach in a hammock.
He's still there. Yeah, never left.
Tito comes to tell him that his dad and Mac have been calling to get him home, and Miranda has even called. But that last part was actually all a lie. Tito's just fucking with him. Tito's joked the whole time. I'm joking, man.
I hate Carlos Mencia.
I'm joking. Yeah.
He's the worst. Yeah. He is the absolute worst. Like the movie is, for sure. You okay?
That accent. It was so raspy. I was so raspy as I was doing it.
That's okay. We gotta get through this. Man. We got this.
So Eddie, he realizes he's been here too long, but he lost his passport. I don't know where he lost it, so he can't get back into the U.S. But Uncle Tito knows some guys.
Yeah, some homies.
So, and Eddie doesn't want to go home to California, though. He wants to go to Mississippi.
Exactly.
So now you get a good 5-minute sneaking across the border montage.
This sucks, yeah. Not in the original.
He continues to get apprehended time and time again by Border Patrol.
ICE. Has to sneak in with different caravans of immigrants, yeah.
Not in the original, huh?
No.
Okay. Sneaking across the border, not as big of a problem. Eddie is with one of the Mexican immigrants now, and is one with the Mexican immigrants now. He speaks Spanish. He says goodbye. Finally makes it onto a train that's going across the border in one of the train cars. He gets on there. The dudes just immediately jump him.
Beat the shit out of him. Very stupid. For no
toss
reason.
Him out. So the way he's going to get back is Eddie's dad just drove down and got him a new passport and brought him back up.
He's fine, yeah.
Yeah, they're in Mississippi.
Going after Michelle.
Like a caveman.
Miranda.
Not Miranda. Michelle Monaghan. Yeah. Is it Monaghan or Monaghan?
I think it's Monaghan. Monahan?
I don't know. Monaghan. And looks like a caveman. He doesn't want to wait, though, and goes straight to their family's door. And as he's trying to confess his love to the family, they tell him that Miranda married Cal, her ex-boyfriend, when she got back, and that they want him to respect her privacy and her marriage.
They don't like him anymore, essentially, yeah.
So rightfully, Eddie breaks into her home, and while she's asleep, and he wakes her up to talk to her, and he actually begins to like win her over
Makes some
until
sense.
Martin comes in, takes a baseball bat to Eddie's shins.
Also, rightfully so. Yeah.
And now Cal's awake. Jerry also breaks into the home, though. He's ready to fight Martin. Eddie asks Miranda point blank as everyone's awake in the middle of the night, is there still something here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think I tapped out before this, actually, so I don't know what's going on.
She says no.
Heartbreak. He's the Heartbreak Kid.
He's the Heartbreak Kid. She says there was a connection in Mexico, but after everything that's happened, she realized she was meant to be with Cal and that he needs to go. And so Eddie and Jerry walk away from her house. She has an upper balcony.
This is right, yeah.
And he's like, hey, Jerry, can you look for me? If she's watching me as I walk away, there's still a chance. He looks around.
Yeah.
She's not there. Heartbreak.
You don't care anymore.
But then, as they walk away, she comes out onto the porch and watches.
Mm.
A glimmer.
What a love story.
So Eddie's getting ready to pack up and move. There's nothing left in the U.S. for him. San Fran, Mississippi. Obviously, you can't live anywhere else other than San Francisco.
You gotta go back to Cabo.
You gotta go to Cabo. And I hate Mac's fucking single bang so much.
Yeah, their quarter
He's been
bang.
growing it out more and more and more. So now it's one long bang.
It's sick.
And he's getting ready to go. He moves down and he set up a snorkeling and surfing shop on the beach. It's a year later, and this means Miranda is back in Cabo for another vow renewal. She surprises Eddie by showing up at his shop.
Just like Lila showed up at the shop earlier.
Exactly. A little weird, but okay. She begins to tell Eddie that her and Cal got divorced shortly later because she found that she got married too quickly, and it's hard to be in love with someone when deep down you love someone else. No
Talking
way.
About him, probably.
Talking about him. And good prank as she pretended that her new husband was in the car. She's like, do you want to meet the guy? And he's like, oh, sure, yeah. I was like, she's good. I like her. And so she asked him, she's like, you know what? Let's go for a drink tonight after the vow renewal. And she leaves for the ceremony. And as she leaves, fucking Eddie.
What? What do you do?
A Mexican lady comes up and asks Eddie who Miranda was. And he lies to her that she's a snorkeling representative. So that he can go and hang out with Miranda, even though it's their 1 year anniversary tonight.
Oh, he is married.
He's married, yeah. But I don't know if the timeline adds up.
He got married pretty quickly.
Maybe but if it's 1 year later, I guess you factor in the time of him crossing the border. So it's probably 2 years after the Lila honeymoon. Yeah, so there's a year in between, and then he met the girl and he got married, and now they're here. Okay, I guess I didn't factor in the crossing the border, and that is the end of the Heartbreak Kid.
Was there any post-credit scenes or anything?
There was. Do you know about this credit scene?
I don't.
So it's right in the middle of the credits. Lila is fucking someone. You just see the bed shaking, her hands gripping the headboard, and she's finally screaming that someone is actually cocking her real good the way she needs to be cocked.
Jerry Stiller.
And then it pans out after the sex as she's asleep and sitting in the chair, just like Ben Stiller was shaking earlier, is the donkey from earlier.
Oh.
Wearing a bathrobe and smoking a cigarette.
What is this movie?
The donkey from the Miraflores Mexican folk dancing room fucked her and cocked her too good.
What is this film?
And that is the end of the Heartbreak. What a mid-credit scene. Gotta love it.
The worst yet. Gross.
Might be the most vile thing now. I don't know. There's five things.
There's five in contention.
But that is going to end the movie. Do you have anything that we should do next?
I don't have any quotes. Do you have any quotes?
I do, if you want me to read them.
Let's take 5 seconds first and throw a clip of the movie in.
Okay, maybe something about fucking and cocking and inverted corkscrewing.
I'm sure.
You'll hear it now.
Sorry, parents.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Karen and
And Shelly and Mike.
Cecilia might be listening now, and yeah. Let's see quotes. I have 10.
I got none.
5 are from IMDb. 5 were taken from the movie myself.
Let's
So
hear
5
this
from
buffet
IMDb.
of buffoonery.
Cock me, baby. Oh God, you like that, don't you? Also, fuck me like a black guy, Eddie. Come on, you faggot.
That's racist. Yeah, that is racist.
Eddie goes, hey, are you running this whole thing at the wedding to just some flamboyant guy? And the guy's like, oh, sure. Walk up to the first homo that you see and assume he's a
that's
wedding
good.
coordinator, right? And he's like, no, I didn't mean it like that. And then he's like, nice stereotype, buddy, nice. And then the wedding coordinator comes up,
even
overly
more,
flamboyant. Did I hear someone say wedding coordinator?
That's a good bit. That's not a bad bit.
How
did
Eddie
Peter Farrelly win an Oscar?
Eddie goes, I love sports. And in fact, this is him telling the story to Miranda's family. I even lost my virginity on a baseball diamond. And they're like, oh my God, you're too much, really? He's like, yeah. A couple of the older kids pushed me down and it wasn't pretty. And Miranda's like, he was making a joke, Gayla. And Deborah's like, about anal rape?
That's funny.
And my last IMDb one, Jerry goes, so what's new, Eddie? Anything exciting? He's like, oh yeah, we got that new Nike Sasquatch golf drivers in the store, and that's been kind of cool. And he goes, well, let me rephrase the question. You've been crushing any pussy?
I remember the Sasquatch driver. That was a big deal.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Are they a good driver?
Stepdad had one. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Bomber.
I'm not good with the driver yet.
Take some time.
I seem to always
the
top
big stick, high variance.
Yeah. So I top it and I shank it. So
I tee it up more.
I'm doing it real high. Crazy. And then the 5 that I took from watching the movie, when Eddie first asks Lila out for the first time, he goes, hey, are you a pie fan? You know, like pie food, pie? Yeah. You like pie?
You like pie? You like jazz?
Like, you like jazz? That's what it reminded me of. Mm-hmm. Ben Stiller talking to Lila. Remember, honey, it's Mexico. It's a third world country, and it can be really dangerous. Or no, she told that to him, and then he was like, well, it's Cabo, you know.
Yeah, also racist. Cancun can be bad at times.
Yeah, sure. I already kind of said this one earlier. Lila going, baby, look, that's us in 10 years looking at the 80-year-old couple. Whose side are you on, Eddie? Mine or the Ozones? I don't know. She's just rambling about dictionaries and the ozone layers and sunburns. Yeah. And the last one, after they have sex the first time, she's playing with his nipples, and he just goes, hey, can you stop making little circles around my nipples? She's like, okay. What if I make little squares?
Stole that from the first one, exactly.
Oh, that's a good line. That's a good line.
Yeah. He's so annoying.
I thought that's so funny, and that's ditzy.
Exactly. Like that's not like sexual criminal.
What if I make little squares or little triangles? Like, that's funny. I like that. Yeah, so exactly. Those Elaine are my May. 10. I think those were your exact 10.
You took mine. You're right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fresh out again for the 12th week in a row.
So instead,
you want me to guess some reviews?
No, don't guess the reviews. That's really difficult.
That'd be tough. Yeah. Let me guess some ratings instead. Make it easy on myself. Thermometer. The critics said that this was a bad movie, so I'm going to say 24%.
Nice, 29.
Nice.
Okay. 29 audiences.
But the people, they like the Farrellys, so I'm going to say 47.
It's still lower than 50% though.
Yeah, the people.
They really like them and Ben Stiller.
They love them.
12%. No, it's 37%. So even lower.
Even lower. Metascore?
IMDb Metascore out of 100.
31.
Higher.
39.
46.
What?
Yeah.
And the people say this is a 4.0 movie.
It's a 5.8.
People, what the fuck?
So critics
People.
gave it a 29 and a 46 for a 37 and a half. And audiences gave it a 37 and a 58 for a 47 and a half. And you liked what I did last time, where I gave you reference of what this was
Yeah,
around, because I have everything rated by audience
that's
score
nice. Yeah,
in a
sure.
file. So this had a 5.8. It is right above films such as The $1 Million Duck,
What
Liar
blows it out
Liar
of the water?
Vampire,
What also blows it out of the water?
Fool's Gold,
Three great movies.
Jingle All the Way, and Without a Paddle.
Okay, some good films in that crew. Interesting.
Right behind Skyscraper,
Bad movie.
Battleship, Deep Blue Sea,
Bad.
Clifford, and Drop Dead Fred.
So yeah, that makes sense there.
So
Interesting.
all the ones that were below it, you're like so pro, but all the
Good
ones that are
movies.
above it,
$1 Million Duck and yeah. So what are we giving this?
$1 Million Duck and Fool's Gold for sure. Oh, and Liar Liar Vampire. You love that
Good
shit.
movies.
Yeah, what are you giving this?
This is a spit in the face of a queen named Elaine May. This did nothing to improve or twist upon the original outside of taking a step back for feminism and all pubic hair related incidents. I'll give this a 1.8.
Damn.
It's bad. I don't like it. I mean, I laughed. There's parts of Elaine's ideas and scripts that I like, but I didn't like it. I saw the new White Men Can't Jump this year too, and it was better than this. So that was
Okay.
my benchmark for like lovely legacy sequels that I have. So bad.
And you mentioned that your letterbox for the original is 5 out of 5. What is your John Lasagna
Perfect.
for that?
For the original, it's probably a 9.9. Yeah.
Okay, so
9.9, 9.8,
big drop off.
A little bit, yeah. One of the biggest.
I think this is a 3.3 for me.
Okay.
I used to actually, like I said, I've seen this before, and I used to think it was like really funny, like some of the moments in it, and then I watched it again, and I was like, this actually, like the big
Gross.
laugh moments aren't that funny. It was some of the
Mask.
stuff that's derivative of the original film that I was
Yeah.
unfamiliar with
The
at the
original
time.
is so tight. Yeah.
And so it's like you said, those things about like, oh, I'm making little squares. What about little square? That's funny.
Yeah. That's Elaine.
I do really like Michelle Monaghan and her performance in this. Danny McBride, her whole family was decent.
All right.
She was definitely the standout. Some vile stuff. I mean, obviously Malin Ackerman's nice to look at. But some really just gross out humor, and I'm fine with gross out humor. Like I've watched the scary movies and shit, and I think some of them are awesome. But this was like,
Yeah.
Exploding
The
Bush. Come on.
the what's her Lila character in the original was nominated for an Academy Award for her performance in that
Yeah.
one. Can you
Yeah.
imagine Malin
No.
Ackerman getting nominated for this?
No way. I don't think Malin Ackerman will ever get nominated for something,
Of course
but
not. Fuck her. Yeah. Fuck her for participating.
all right, reviews. I've got 2 critics.
Ebert, Big
No
Rog.
Ebert. No Big
He
Rog.
did one. He did one. I know he did.
Well, I couldn't find it.
Damn it. Maybe he didn't. Okay.
Peter Travers at Rolling Stone.
This guy is usually good.
Yeah, one of the worst movies of 2007 and the worst remake of a film on my list.
True that, Peter.
And the other one by the Chicago Reader for Jonathan Rosenbaum.
Okay.
Very short review. He just said brain dead.
Brain dead. I agree.
So
Did the little songbird, is she among the cohort for the big reviewers here?
she's not.
The fuck? Snoopy?
Snoopy's here. We've got
Thank God.
3 returners.
I need some Snoopy in my life right now.
Snoopy, July 3rd, 2014, says Ben Stiller is trying to be the everyman. Malin Ackerman is flailing away too much. It's like dying from 1,000 different cuts at once. and it doesn't make Ben Stiller any more likable. He comes off as shallow with every twitch at Ackerman's craziness and every lie he tells. Michelle Monaghan is perfectly nice, but Malin Ackerman was perfectly nice before the Farrellys got through with her. The Farrelly brothers are missing something in this. I think it's missing a good heart. The main problem is that every character is an annoying, outlandish cartoon. Even the nice people are annoyingly unlikable. That's not necessary and rather distracting. There are some funny moments. Some of the wacky Farrelly brother jokes actually work. The overall story, however, doesn't work that well. 5 out of 10.
Generous Seth.
But I like everything that he said in here.
It's pretty valid criticism.
Yeah. Returner, don't use him a ton, but he's made his way into our rotation several times. Matthew's Silver Hammer.
This sounds familiar.
June 30th, 2020. During COVID, he came around to watch this.
Yeah.
He said, if any movie personifies arrogance and chauvinism, it's The Heartbreak Kid. One of the single most immoral and unethical Hollywood movies ever made. It's a shoulder shrug at toxic masculinity, arrested development, and the general infidelity. Of course, none of this would matter as much if it also weren't one of the least funny films I've ever seen. And that includes films that have no intention of being funny. 1 out of 10.
Wow, I love it. We should get him on more. Silverhammer.
Cost Mask.
This guy's a fucking dumb.
I found out where you started hating Cost Mask.
Yeah, when?
It was in that Point Break episode I've been listening to.
He's a dumbass.
I just finished it, and in it you were like, I hate this guy. And then in it he's like, this movie's so anti-Semitic. And you're like, yeah, this guy fucking sucks.
He does suck. Let's hear this dumbass's review.
This is the long one of the reviews today. He says, now I have not seen the original Heartbreak Kid from the 70s, I think, which I had no clue even existed. I remember when I first saw this, when it came out in the video stores, like, it's like streaming, but having to go to a physical place and get a physical copy of movies they had to bring back home. But I had a rewatch earlier today, and I really dug the movie. It does not take any prisoners. It will very likely offend people. And Malin Ackerman, man, may I salute her in the courage that she is showing here. I'm not even talking about the nudity. She seems fine with that. She's see other movies that she's in. No, I mean how she goes places, ugly places, and really with the full steam ahead. She doesn't seem to have a sense about being seen as beautiful or cares if people misjudge her. You got to love that dedication and that inner power that she has. What a wonderful trait. Many jokes that are offensive, many sweet moments that are getting dragged through the mud, sucking the sweetness out of them and all of that. You have to dig that. Otherwise, you may have an issue or two with the movie. 8 out of 10.
Fucking Cost Mask. Yeah, he loves this shit. Everything he could say wrong, he did.
I can't believe you give him higher scores than the little songbird in our brackets.
It's funny. Yeah, he's an all-time dumbass. All-time swerving guy.
And then 4 new... Oh, no, there is another returner in here. The next one's a newcomer, Simon Jack. Simple Jack.
I know this guy.
Me son don't Jack.
Me Simple Jack.
September 9th, 2019.
Simon
Jack says, it's probably not apt to label a film itself as pathological, but that term could surely be applied to some of the characters in The Heartbreak Kid, or it might apply just to the plot. Some other terms that begin with the letter P also describe this film, and the plot and or characters. It's pathetic, for sure. It might be a portrayal of some psychologically screwed up people. The overly demonstrative sex scenes must come close to porn if they aren't actually pornography. Personality, personal relationships, politeness, purity, and other human aspects and virtues are pummeled in this picture. I don't know what the criteria is for rating a film X, but this one must come close. That Hollywood makes this type of film and that some people find it entertaining is a pathos of our modern culture. 2 out of 10.
Good words. A lot of alliteration there.
Yeah, not a bad one.
Good job. Hammer
they seem to like maybe a PG-13 movie a little more.
PG.
My last returner is by Unique Particle.
Yeah, I remember this guy.
August 24th, 2021, they say, it's been a while since I've watched Heartbreak Kid and always loved it more than most. The Farrelly brothers make very odd but highly enjoyable comedies, which I always appreciate. Ben Stiller, Malin Ackerman, Rob Corddry, and Jerry Stiller are all the great ones in this. I so wish I could have met Ben Stiller and hang out. He's so great in so many projects. I love this movie all around despite the negatives. 9 out of 10.
He just wants to hang out with Ben Stiller.
He just wants to hang out. And he didn't praise Michelle Monaghan. The other four were the better people.
Yeah.
Penultimate review is by newcomer Mimi by Asphil.
Great name.
I
know this guy.
August 18th, 2022, almost your birthday.
Nearly.
They said, I will be succinct. Ben Stiller is adorable in a cutie doll sort of way, but his acting is bad. He has been in some bad, silly movies, but this one is just abysmal. Why did he put his ancient relic of a dad in it? The writers of the Farrelly Brothers, they must write while high a lot. 1 out of 10.
Shot. He put his ancient dad in it. That's fine enough.
Yeah, what the hell? But they think Ben Stiller's cute.
He is. He's
adorable. And the last one by It's Fits on July 28, 2008. They said, if you don't like Family Guy or South Park or Robot Chicken, of course, you're not going to like this movie. And also that means you do not have the coolness you're required to watch this movie. Yes, it was a different Ben Stiller, but so what? And this was an R movie, so you should be expecting mature themes and scenes. And above all, it's comedy, not real life, people. This movie is really great. Please go see it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, bad review. It is very Family Guy coded. I'll say that energy, sort of, that tone, which is just so not Elaine May.
I mean, I like early Family. I like early seasons of
It's just not. I know, I do too. It's just not that. That's just not her vibe.
Yeah, that's fair. So that is ending it this week. Oh, I'm still trying to not cough. That's ending it this week for the Love Lads. Are you recommending the film?
Fuck no. Go watch the original. It's on like an updated. I thought there's like a restorative AI version somewhere out there on the Internet Archive where it's like
okay. I'm also not recommending. So 2 no recommends this week.
Next week though, recommend that one
for the Love Lads.
And I recommend you tune in.
Next week we've got another rom-com called Marcy X from like 2003. Lisa Kudrow, a Jewish millionaire princess, inherits a hardcore hip-hop record label and has to tame Marlon Wayans, the biggest rapper in the world. So
I think that's got good potential. Can't wait.
We'll see what happens with that. So, but that is ending it this week. Fall in love, people.
Do it. That's an order. Don't forget to
love
the douche.
Oh.
What if they don't fall in
love? Then they die, maybe?
How are we going to assess that they fell in love? How will they know?
They'll send us a message on voice. They'll send us a
how
voice
will they know
Anchor.
When they've fallen in love themselves?
Oh, they'll know. Because they'll want to marry the woman in 6 weeks.
Where's the data?
The data is the one that they're marrying.
The data? Dada. That's like an art style, Dada.
Yeah.
All right, pimp crazy.
Pimp.
I'll try and rip my lip open next week too. Get some
good, yeah. That'll be good.
All right, pimp. Play it.
All right, pimp. See ya.